Good evening to all of you, and welcome to all of you in another episode of the career, that impact. That means, as a whole, we are going to discuss focus area is the career, and we are having another guest today. That is, I'm just going to ask the basic thing, but because before just giving him opportunity, let me just give the basic intro. Okay, so the guest what we have today is Colonel Tyagvir Raghavan, is ex Indian Army officer. He's postgraduate from IIT Kharagpur in telecommunication system engineer. He started his career from defense public sector undertaking Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Nasik in 1984. So before wasting further time, just let me welcome, sir. So just to start with, basic introduction from your end.
Thank you so much, Upendra, and with such a wonderful introduction. Let me tell you, Upendra, I am from very humble background, from a rural background rather, and I studied in a vernacular system, a Hindi medium system, and after having done my schooling at my town, I'm from district Aligarh, Tehsil Atroli, so there used to be intermediate college where I studied. Luckily, my family environment was absolutely academic. My grandfather was graduate in 1937 from Allahabad University. My
Wow.
father was also postgraduate from Delhi University. So the whole environment was academic in the sense that we used to give importance to the studies and all. So I was good at study right from the beginning, and I excelled in my, whether it was 10th or 12th. Uh, in fact, what had happened is that my father lost his father, rather that my grandfather. So then the financial crisis came straightway, because my father was just 14-year-old when he lost his father. And the grandfather, since he was working in Delhi that time in the Viceroy's office, so they have to fall back again to the village, and where it was only the farming was there. So because of that, since my father in the early age, when he reached village, he got married, and I was the first child. Then I grew up in that environment. So the financial crisis, of course, was there, but I overcame all this and did well in my schooling. Finally, I was in a position that I should work as early as possible to overcome that financial crisis, because father was also not earning that time very well. And I learned very early in the life that the only way to overcome the hardships and the crisis is that you should get yourself self-empowered. Means that you should study well, and the only way was that you should get a good job, and good job used to be that time you should become a something class 1 officer like that. And let me tell you, in 10th class only, I tried, rather not 10th class, after 12th class, I tried to appear for National Defense Academy exam, NDA exam. But thing happened that I failed 2 times. Okay, I could not succeed in those exams at the after the 12th class. Then I was advised by the family that, okay, since you could not do that, better you go for the engineering. So I got into that, tried for the engineering. Again, in the engineering, in some of the competitive exam, I again could not succeed. So finally, I have to take admission into the diploma. Though I was good at studies, but because of the circumstances, I could not crack any competitive exam at that point of time. But when I got into the diploma of 3-year electronics, diploma in electronics, I excelled very well. Rather, I topped in the UP Board of Technical Education. I was third in that. And I got all the awards, whatever was available in that institute, whether it was a best boy of the institute, whether it was a institute senior who excel in the academics, and
Okay, Salman,
even
I'll just stop you here for a few seconds and just the main aim for this, so to just whatever you struggle, that means the impact whenever you started your career. You said that you failed this and then. So just for sake of our viewer, whoever is just watching, what was going on when you failed? So can you please just share the mindset or what turbulence or what kind of mindset you were going through that part? Because this is a
so
common challenge for almost every
yeah,
one of us,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So can you please just share that
Yeah,
part?
yeah. It's a very right, Upendra. You reminded me to bring out those details of that time. See, I tell you, since I topped even in the 12th class, I got in the college the maximum marks in 12th class. So I was suggested my principal that you go to Dalwag Engineering College in Agra, and there on the merit basis you will get admission in the engineering. And I had a PCM of 83% that time. I went there, and you will be surprised that though marks wise I was sure to get a seat, but in the interview I could not convince them that how I will afford the engineering financially. Okay, as I told you that there was a financial crisis that point of time. So since I could not convince them, I went all alone. There was no hardly any support. So when I came back, I had a mindset of a that time you can say the loser mindset, that I was so disheartened that the principal who encouraged me to go and appear for that examination, for that interview, I did not even go back to him because I could make out that I am not going to make it in this exam. So after 2 months, when the college opened, and when I told him I could not pass that interview, and then he asked me, he scolded me, that why the hell you did not come to me to tell me that you could not pass in the interview, because hardly anyone get into the merit there. So that was the one learning, Upen, that was the one learning, that you should never give up. Okay, that was the change of mindset. And I think that was the last time that after the failure I got disheartened. The point could have been that after that again I should have given him a feedback, probably because he knew some people there. He would have spoken to them and he would have said that he's a bright student, please take him. So that was his aim of saying. And generally it happens now, when you fail, you don't make a mark, you get into your shell. And that one lesson I learned from that principal that day, that you should never give up, you should always find the light after the dark tunnel. So that was the mind which gone into me. But thereafter I did not give up. For example, after having failed into the NDA exams and all, uh, uh, and even that engineering exams and all, then I went for diploma. I did so well despite being from my village background, despite being from my very humble and non English medium type schooling. I excelled in everything, and which encouraged me to further again try for the engineering, and which I did thereafter. I then did graduation in the engineering while working in the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, and then the whole cycle started. Then the whole cycle started for everything. So the I would like to tell your viewers that whatever is the setback, they are temporary. Never give it up. Never give it up.
Okay, so great. And in this context only, because I used to come across many person professionals, maybe they're fresher graduates or even mid-career. The challenge is I don't know English, or I'm not able to communicate in English. So, what advice you are going to give to them, at least, keeping in mind
Uh,
what the vast experience you have, from where they should start? Yes, the same
yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Upendra, let me tell you that I have been that kind of person. I have struggled on that front. So I tell you how they can overcome that. Because in my time, uh, in UP, though I was very good student in that, and are all the books, whether it is even of the technical books, physics, chemistry, they all used to be in Hindi. But my way of studying was that I always used to, because in every Hindi topic, there is always in the bracket, there is English topic. Okay, English sentence is there. So I always used to give emphasis on the English part of it. So I was much better than many of my classmates. When I reached even in the diploma also, there also it was all Hindi medium. The books were all Hindi medium. But I used to come to Delhi. I used to buy from Nai Sadak all English books of that very subject, and I used to study from that English book, because I knew that when you go for the competitive exam, because I appeared for the civil service, I appeared for engineering services, then that time there is no Hindi medium in that. So I studied all my subject, or rather I gave priority to study all my subject during that period of time from the English medium only. Another advice which I will say, that people should, instead of spending on other things, they should make a habit of studying English newspaper right from the beginning. Okay. Secondly, that they should pick up some one odd magazines where they can, it's a general knowledge magazine, where they get a language as well as they will get a knowledge also, the GK knowledge, which is required very much for the competitive exams. In addition to that, they should listen. Everybody has got a TV nowadays. In our time, that much of proliferation of these things was not there. But right now, they should listen to the news. They should listen to the other programs. So that is the way they can. It is not a rocket science. Language is not a rocket science. It's only that environment. An environment you can create. Individual can create that environment for himself, and nobody can beat you. Let me tell you, if you are committed, if you are consistent, you can be the winner in the life. And I did that way.
Wow, that's really powerful. So, just coming back to the next stage, you have, as I was going through the profile, LinkedIn profile, you have switched three, four job, starting from government, then the private, then this. So, but nowadays, normally, I remember a handful of us used to think, no, no, why to change job, go to this line, that line. So, means any specific reason you just move from one means A to B to C in the different sector. So, what is the reason? Can you please share, and how it is going to impact means the step by
I tell
step
you,
your career?
Upendra, I tell you right from the beginning what environment we have seen, especially in our areas, that becoming a class one officer in the government service is ultimate aim of everyone's childhood, and that is
Yes.
what you see and you learn that. So when I passed in first division in the 10th class, and since there was a financial challenges were there, so some of the people suggested that I should go for something like a village accountant, patwari kind of job. And since I did very well, so I applied in that and I got a selected selection letter. So one side there was a selection letter with me for becoming Patwari. Another side there was a letter which I was supposed to go for joining the diploma in electronic engineering. Now that was a point of decision I have to make. So I asked two, three people, what should I do? Some people said, if you want a life, then go for studying further. And if you want to earn, then join here. So right from the my ambition was to grow in life, rather becoming something big, not that just this thing. So as I mentioned to you, after diploma, I joined my Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. There I was in the quality control, and while doing that, I did my that grade IIT, graduation in electronics and telecom engineering. After 2 years I was there working, and within 2 years I completed that. So the 5 years engineering normally, which used to be that time, within 5 years only I did my diploma in engineering both, and I passed that. And the moment I did this, I started appearing for those graduate level entries. So that was in Indian Civil Services. I appeared for that. I applied for this Army SSB, because that minimum graduation was the qualification. I did that. So HL I joined, or that Department for Electronics, as a diploma holder. but I was never satisfied. I always wanted to grow. And
So
because of
now,
this, the
yeah, again stopping you here. So from where this thing was coming, means anybody was guiding you, or your inner calling, or what? Because most of the time we stuck. So from where that calling was from, means on that time.
So I tell you that calling, yes, you rightly brought out. You see, one of my relations, when I was in 10th or 12th class, he was captain in the army that point of time. And whenever he used to visit us, I used to get very inspired by him. I used to wonder that if this gentleman stands among the 100 people, I can pinpoint that he is from a different organization. So by seeing that person's how he is to dress up, how he is to speak, how he is to conduct himself, those mannerism and everything and his health, everything used to inspire me. Yeah, this is the job, which is the wonderful job. So that feeling was right in the 1997, 1977 rather, 1977 when I passed my 10th class. So that feeling was somewhere in the back of mind. Subconsciously, it was planted into the mind. So when I was in HL, then I migrated to Delhi again in Department of Electronics, and then got an opportunity to again go back to that army, applying as a technical graduate. See, I not succeeded as a NDA. Then after having done the graduation, I again applied to SSB, and I made it in that. So the point of you asking that what was that calling, the calling was that somewhere subconsciously I used to get inspired by the defense services and the way they conduct, the way they live, the way they experience the adventurous life. So that was the calling basically, and finally it happened.
Wow, great. Now coming back to, yes, you have gone through. You already just three, four, or maybe more than that. What I can see from your profile. So why this many, basically? That was the question earlier. So why so many, means this thing, and still you are working? So what make you to go up and up and up? What exactly behind the scene means?
Yes. See, as I mentioned that I was a very ambitious person. I was very ambitious person. uh, I joined HL. I got inspired by seeing that MiG aircrafts flying, going up and then coming down. And so that was the one inspiration. After having worked for around 1.5 year plus, I realized, yeah, there is no growth in this. So then again, I started applying for different. And that time, there was no internet, nothing. You have to just have application, typed application, fill it up, and then send it by the post. So I did apply for railways. I did apply for TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. I did apply this Electronic Regional Test Laboratory, Department of Electronics in Delhi. So what happened, Upendra, that was a very interesting story about that. I was already working in HL. I got a selection letter from TIFR, and I have come for an interview in Electronic Regional Test Laboratory, Delhi, that is Department of Electronics. After some time, it happened that TIFR was calling me to join. I got a joining letter. HL, I was already working. And ERTL, I got a selection letter that you are selected. Now I was in dilemma, okay, what to do. One job I am working, another job is calling me, and another job has intimated that you are selected. So let me tell you, we were around 10, 11 people of our batchmates who were all there in HL that point. And I'm talking of Nasik. Nasik, Maharashtra, is very difficult to that get accommodation and all. And a lot of pagdi sagdi system is there where you have to deposit and all. So I asked TIFR, I wrote a letter. This is a very interesting life story is that. TIFR, I wrote a letter. I asking them, will you provide me the accommodation in Mumbai if I join you? So they said that our senior scientists do not have any accommodation. How can we provide you? Okay. Then in the meantime, this Delhi has happened it. Now my parents by then from the village have migrated to Ghaziabad. So the Delhi becoming nearer to Ghaziabad, and HL again the Maharashtra 2 years have already done, not very happy with the job after, means it was saturated, and it would have taken long time before I could get accommodation there in HL. Also, there used to be township there, so my number was long list. So one person, my friend, advised me, because I was in dilemma how to take a decision, what to do. He said, "You write. This is for everyone to understand that. You write for every job what are the plus point and what are the minus point." So I did the same exercise for every job: HL, TIFR, and ERTL. And you say you take a ratio of that, positive to negatives, which is the more than one, you join that. So I did that, and it happened that Delhi came out more than one average, that ratio, and I joined Delhi. The most favorite point coming to Delhi was that my parents were there. That was the thing.
Okay.
So
So,
that's why the change took place.
okay. Now, coming back to, I was just again going through the profile, and you have just written your mission. Okay, so mission is to help 1 million people to unhook from their past and win life like a warrior. So, can you please share something? Is what exactly this all about, and reason for it, basically.
See, Upendra, I had a around, say, very long journey, around now roughly 40 years of job. So I have seen an entire spectrum of life, whether it is a public sector undertaking, whether it's a government or the defense life or the private life. But you know what had happened after having done that army life? I joined the private in somewhere in 2008, and it's around 13 years. And during this period of my 13-year experience, I found this mid-career professionals, especially those people who are having 10 to 15 years of service in the IT or any other domain in the private sector. They are the people who are suffering a lot, or they do not have a direction. What had happens is that these guys, at this age of service of 10 years, they have a children responsibility. Children are growing and studying in the school. They have some responsibility of the home loan. They are paying that home loan, and they can't struggle out of that place because they have to work there, otherwise they can't pay the loan and all. Similarly, they develop some health issues also, because they don't have a time to look after their health also. And what happens in the bargain, that they get stuck in that job, and they don't have any clue that what to do, because they can't get out of that. Three side they are stuck. One side is their health, another side is the finances, and third side is the relationship at home as well, that get affected because of the stagnancy part. So I realized how to help this community, because they don't lack anything, they simply lack clarity and the direction in their life. So since I have seen the, so long as if you have a clarity and direction, you can unhook your past. Whatever your past difficulties or sufferings you have gone through, that doesn't affect you. And whatever limiting beliefs you have, that is immaterial. You can today, at any age and service, you can change your life. You can think in the direction where you can grow, and grow phenomenally. So that is my aim of thinking, that how to unhook from the past and win life like a warrior. Win life like a warrior word, I just tell you, the warrior is not something which you go in the battlefield and fight. It's not meaning that. Warrior I am referring here is that you are fearless, you are courageous, you are not afraid of anything, and you are clear in your mind. So that means that as of now, when you are struggling, you take those steps courageously, so that you make your life worth living, rather than living under stagnancy or living with the difficulties. So that is my word of the warrior, means that you be the boss of your life. Don't allow somebody else to run your life. That is what the warrior means.
Wow, that is really great mission. So, what exactly? Suppose I'm having around, suppose 10 years of experience and I'm not growing. Okay. And there are, as you mentioned, there are lakhs of people like me, right? And how I'm going to approach you, number one, and what the phase I have to go through to overcome with this. So, do you have any program or what exactly the way you are helping? Can you please just share?
Yes, yes, Upendra. I have a program. It's a wonderful program. My framework is the warrior itself. I have designed my framework from the word warrior.
Okay.
So if I say warrior, so there is a seven words in that, seven letters in the warrior word, WARRIOR. Now the first letter of warrior W indicates, in my case, is the winning mindset. You should have your mindset, which is the growth mindset, not the fixed mindset. Fixed mindset means that I cannot do this. This is not my cup of tea. I am not capable of doing that. Whereas the winning mindset says, or the growth mindset says, yes, I can do this. I will try this. I am capable of doing this. So that is the first W indicate. The second is A. A is that alter attitude. Means whatever negative attitude or limiting beliefs you have right now, make that as a positive attitude. So you alter whatever existing attitude is there, make it a positive attitude. Next year come your R. Okay. That is your reinvent yourself. That means after having the growth mindset, after having your altered attitude, then you have reinvented yourself. Okay. Then I means you get inspired by the people who are successful. So take inspiration from those people who are very successful. You should read them. You should understand them, that what different thing they are doing. So they are the, like somebody is CEO and somebody is CEO. Everybody goes through it. You must understand them. What are so different in them which I cannot do it? Get inspiration from them. Then O is offer the gratitude. Whatever you are there today, you should be grateful to the thing or people around you, because you cannot exist independently. You are in the environment which has helped you to become whatever you are today, and that gratitude you must show. And the last R is your reap the rewards. Means after you have achieved all these things, then you are reaping the reward. Means you are in such a position where you are impacting the life of others. Means you have grown yourself, you have become yourself a very self-empowered, and once you are self-empowered, then you are in position to help others as well. So that is my warrior framework of 7 steps how to achieve the life of your dreams.
Wow, that is really great. The meaning and the steps, what you mentioned, is really powerful. So, suppose I'm coming associated with you. So, as a whole, can you please share the duration, whatever framework you explained? So, weeks or months, or how it will go?
Upendra, initially I start with the 21 days, which is the challenge I give, so that I can see the people that how much I believe in three things. Upendra, that is the 3C. Means how committed you are, how consistent you are, and how courageous you are. See, your life is your responsibility. The individual has to be responsible for his own life. Whatever is the direction one can give, your mentor, coach, or guide, he can just give you the direction, but ultimately the implementation has to be done at the individual level. So during this 21 days, I have to check that how courageous he is to take his steps, how committed he is towards his changing his own life, not my life, his own life, and how consistent he is. So that will be 21 days. And after evaluating that, who succeed doing this 21 days and they prove themselves, yes, they are committed, consistent, and courageous, then I take them for maybe 4 months or the 6-month program.
Okay, that's really great. Means as a whole, you are giving this touch for everything, and based on their commitment, only they will move forward.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's great. Now, as a whole, yes, we have gone through a little bit of whatever struggle, and so in you said 40 years in this as a whole, maybe the entire the career wise, and so which one is what you remember the toughest part, the challenge wise, and what you have done to overcome with this? Little you already said, but as a whole in this journey, toughest part, what you have done to overcome with this?
See, Upendra, I just tell you, uh, I will not say the challenge part. See, that initial part I told you already, but I'll
Yeah.
say the adventurous part. And the adventurous part is my throughout the entire life in the army, which I started in 1987 till 2008, so around 23 years plus. That was the most challenging or adventurous, you can say, the part of life. There was certain incident which happened, and I really enjoyed them. So I would like to narrate one of the incident for the benefit of the viewers, and they will know that how at the time of crisis one should react or act, so that, or rather, not react, I said to respond, because response brings the positives where the reaction brings the negatives. So there is a one incident, Upendra, I would like to narrate is, I was a young captain, and that was way back in 1998, immediately after my commissioning in 1987. And I was, I think, 2 years of service, 1 or 2 years of service, and we were made in charge of one of the communication chain. Communication chain means multiple repeaters are there, and that was from somewhere in Punjab and somewhere in the Rajasthan. So it was a chain of around 100 kilometer, you can say, with the number of repeaters, maybe 8 to 10 repeaters. Okay. Now, what was happening is that these were all in deserts. See, Punjab to Rajasthan, if you go, this is all desert. Okay. And it's a tactical communication. I am giving the perspective of the technical language. And every detachment or every repeater, which is a detachment, comprises of some manpower, that is 8 to 10 jawans, some equipments, the vehicle with the transmitter receivers and other equipment, generators and all. So this is at every station, and the communication is happening from point A in Punjab to point X in Rajasthan. And my duty was to oversee all these detachments over 100 kilometers from morning to evening, so that everything is logistically well off. Communication is going sound. There is no interruption in the communication. So that was my responsibility. One fine day, when I was going to visit one of the detachment, and that was in absolutely in the sand dunes, complete desert area. There no light, nothing, and there no nearby, there is no habitation. Okay, it's only that one vehicle covered with camouflage net, then some generators running and all these things, so you can imagine the scenario. I reached there, and I was just maybe, it was used to be that time village jeep. I was in the jeep, driver was there, and around 15 meter away, I parked my vehicle and I was just watching. So what had happened that point of time, that one vehicle with the fuel, because every day that generator has to be fueled up, because fuel has to, because it's burning whole day night, the exercise is going on, so that vehicle has to come and replenish that fuel. So this one vehicle was offloading the diesel and the petrol to that detachment, and some people were helping out. One Jawan who was carrying the lantern, kerosene lantern, you understand, I hope, which burn with that
Yes,
kerosene
yes.
on.
Yeah.
So since it was getting dark, it was in the evening, he came with that kerosene lantern to show them, so that spilling of that fuel is not there, because they were just pouring from that drums of diesel to the something container on the ground. And because it was a summer time, so that fuel always have the fumes. Okay, that fuel always creates some fumes. We can always smell those fumes. This guy came with the lantern to show that for the betterment, we should not waste the fuel. But because of that heat, 50 degree centigrade temperature, the fumes were already there in the environment and it caught fire. Okay, the entire vehicle on the fire. The men were also there. And I am watching from 10 meter. I have just reached 5 minutes before that. The moment I saw that, you will be wondering, Upendra, all the Jawans, they started running away because, of course, they have to save their lives first. So they started running away. But then I realized at that moment of time, what I realized is that if this vehicle get burned, or that even the communication equipment vehicle also get embroiled in that, then I am court martial. There is no denying the fact because I am in charge for that. That fraction of second, I took a decision. Instead of running away like others, I went towards the vehicle, that 15 meter. I just ran towards that. And since all around, that's the presence of mind, all around there was a sand, I started throwing the sand and asking others, please come and throw sand. I asked all Jawans, आओ, रेत डालो, रेत डालो. And by listening that, भाई हमारा साहब भी डाल रहा है, they all came back and they all started throwing. You will be surprised. Within 50 to 60 seconds, we quelled that fire and everything became normal. No loss, nothing. So
Yeah.
what I'm telling is the life, the crisis always come. Such incident in everybody's life come. And crisis is a very beautiful word, Crisis is it's a Latin or Latin word or something. Crisis means the point of decision or decisiveness. That means whenever you are at the crisis, there are always two ways. One is left, another is right. Now it is up to you whether you choose right course of action or the left course of action. So right course of action is the one where you get the laurels. Left course is one that you are running away, fly. It's a fight or flight scene of it. So that is where I learned that day that if you respond to the crisis, you will always be the winner. Otherwise, the scene would have been different that day.
Wow. That
There are
is
many
really,
such instances. I thought one, let me just share with
yeah,
you.
yeah, that is great. Now, we are just moving to one of the main critical part of this talk show, and that is related to our so-called upcoming generation, related to job. And those you were on this the defense service, and you have tasted definitely different area, maybe civil one. Or so can you please suppose I am just about to pass my graduate, or maybe 10 plus 2 I passed, and I want to just go to the defense service. So as per your own experience, what is the path they should just go, and what should be their thought process, and what action they should start taking from that time onwards?
See, firstly, is that when the child is in the 10th and 12th class, by 12th, he has some idea that what he wants to do in his life. Depending upon that, whatever clarity he has, because getting absolute clarity in life at any point of the time is very difficult. You never get 100% clarity. Okay, you always have some clarity. So whatever clarity they have at 12th level or the 10th level, firstly, they should academically excel. There is no shortcut to that. Because unless they excel, that the competition is so high, because they have to excel. They have to learn whatever they are learning at that point of time. That is number one. Secondly, they should prepare for the competitive exam. If they wanted a government service, for example, they wanted to become a IAS or civil servant, or they wanted to become a defense officer. So they have to accordingly prepare themselves. Let me tell you, most of the competitive exams more or less are same the language, same whether mathematics, physics, chemistry, or maybe for example your chosen subject of whatever you are choosing in the literature or otherwise. So you have to prepare accordingly. Your focus should be clear what you want to do, but there is no shortcut to the hard work. That is my experience, that if you are committed to something and if you are consistent, you will achieve your goals. But if you think that by shortcuts you can achieve something, you cannot. Nothing will happen. Even if you achieve something by shortcuts, that will not last long. So that is the one advice, that they have to put in their hard work, whatever they want to achieve, or do that. Secondly is that they have to be committed. They should not be scared of failing. Failing is not ultimate. Okay, they should understand that last end or the far end of the failure is the success. You fail, but fail forward, not backward. You have failed, you get up again try it. See, no competitive exam, not necessarily you will pass in one go. Like I did not pass in the one go. I finally, back of mind, I wanted to be an army officer, but I did not. I failed twice in the NGA. I failed even in the engineering, but I did engineering also. I did become an army officer also, and I did finally, which was my dream, to do something from IIT. I did my MTech also from IIT. So your dreams should remain in your eyes. You should progress them continuously. At any stage, those can be realized, provided you are committed, consistent, and courageous to take the steps towards that, towards your goals and the directions. That is the my advice to them, and they have to work towards that goal right from the beginning, consistently.
Okay, that's really great. Now, in coming back to the defense service, because as per the basic knowledge, whatever I have, maybe by doing service of maybe 15-year, 20-year, they can just retire or something. And after that, suppose they want to build their career in from defense to the general. What you did by choice, but everyone don't have that choice. So what will be the advice from them them in the sense,
Uh,
from defense they are just coming to the normal maybe IT, you just work for the IT company, so what advice you are going to give to them?
open. Let me tell you that defense service is one of such a wonderful service, which provide you, or rather give you, an opportunity to inculcate such a great qualities in you, such a great you can say features in you, or the qualities in you, that every organization after you retire, or you retire prematurely, is looking forward to those guys. What are those qualities? Is first is integrity. They are the guys who are the most integral to the any system they are working, whether they are in the army or after army also, wherever they are working, they are the most integral to the system. Then they are the committed, they are consistent. Okay, they are process based, they know the process, how to manage the things. They are the best project managers. Whether you are technical or non-technical, the kind of qualities you develop or you have as an officer or otherwise, they are tremendous. So any organization is looking for that. Only thing, only bottom line is that once you come into the corporate sector from the defense sector, the ball game is a little different. You have to forget about your ranks structure there, because here the things are flat. Here it's not a hierarchical structure where you give a order and something is implemented. In the defense, it is a hierarchical structure. If you are a senior, junior, if you tell something, he will do very well, will do. But whereas once you come into the civil organization, you are at a flat structure. Okay. So once it is a flat structure, means anybody can write to anyone and anybody can do anything. So you should be ready to understand that environment, adapt yourself in that environment of the civil kind of. It's a wonderful. In the civil also it's a wonderful. But you have to little be flexible, change your way of functioning. But the qualities which you already have in the army or the navy or air force are so important that those produce result. Let me tell you, I joined in 2008, 13 years, non-stop I worked. Not a single organization had an audacity to say that, yes, you are not required. Okay. So, what I am saying is that your worth is very good after having done, because those qualities which you are inculcated during that time is nowhere taught outside unless you take a specific training or a specific program.
Okay. So here just I missed one point. Suppose you just come out, and what should be your approach? Suppose I was in defense, now I'm out, I'm not aware with this system, so-called maybe IT or maybe whatever organization. So what should be my approach? Where should I look towards? Can you please
So
just in the
yes,
meantime?
yes. So I tell you, Upendra, you see, uh, there are three kind of system in the army or defense, you can say. One is the technical entries. Okay, those who are already engineering graduates, done MTech also. So their area of going into the civil environment is more or less decided. Like if you are a communication engineer, you will go into communication, or you are a IT man, then you will go in the IT. Even for those who are non-technical, normally they go for, like, they can manage anything, they can manage any organization, any small unit of any organization, or you can say any regional office, they can manage those things. So technical or non-technical, if you divide in two things, first thing is that how they prepare is, first thing is that before you are thinking of uh, transitioning to the civil environment, you should prepare yourself. Prepare yourself in the sense what you want to do outside, which organization, where you want to go. See that first you evaluate yourself. How you can do is that, maybe it's, for example, say I wanted to leave the army after 2 years from now. So what I will do, I will first prepare my resume with all the technical skills which I have acquired, all the qualifications which I have. Prepare a proper resume, okay, with all the experiences. Then float in the market. Okay. After floating in the market, survey yourself that where you stand. Is there any requirement? Is there any that kind of requirement is there? Once you analyze that, after leaving the organization, then you target those verticals or the areas where you know that, yes, these are the places where I got responses from the people. So prepare yourself in advance, prepare your well CV, and thereafter, once you are out of that, then you start appearing for the interviews and all. Nothing very specific. It's as simple as you go normally for any kind of job, because you are already skilled, you already have a qualification, you already have a massive experience of managing the people. See, the human capital management, nobody can teach you better than the army. Okay, and that management comes so handy, and everybody looking for managing the human capital first. So everything once you have, and go with the positive mindset, not with the entitlement mindset. That is very important. No
Okay.
entitlement mindset. Go with the positive mindset, contributing to the organization. And if these qualities they find it, anybody who is running that organization, CEO or CEO, they will state will pick you up. In fact, I give you my example. When I wanted to quit in 2008, I started preparing from 2007. So first thing is that in army, for us to get a release, it takes 1 year roughly. That time it used to take 1 year. If I resign today, then it take me around 8 to 9 months to get out of this thing. So that period of time, I prepared myself. And the day I was out of the army, I had three jobs in my hand. I had Tech Mahindra, I had Ericsson, and I had Rolta. And I chosen Rolta because it was in my place where I had a flat or house that was in Gurgaon. So
Okay.
if you plan well, if you prepare well, nothing to worry about. There are a lot of takers for the defense people who have honed their skills in during that service.
Wow, that is really means the great input what you gave, and definitely this is going to help our viewer if they are looking towards that. Now we are just almost coming towards the end. Now the next thing is there, and this is related to again the personal experience related to the self-help books. Okay, so I would like to just have a little bit information about your favorite, maybe any one or two books which help you to come. in different label towards the positive way?
Upendra, one of the books which, firstly, I tell you, like when I was a young, especially in the 10th, 12th class that time. So I always used to read, there were used to be two magazines, Competition Success Review and Competition Master. So the young readers, I will tell always they should subscribe to some good magazines where you get a stories of the successful people. Like somebody has cleared his IAS exam. They gave it their interviews, what difficulties they have gone through, what preparation they did, how they did. So you must read that. You learn a lot of things from that. I learned from that. And that is the way I passed my SSB exam, SSB interview. Okay. Then uh, now comes the mindset, other things. So one of the book which I got very inspired by, that is Psycho-Cybernetics is the one of the book which I read. Then another one is for the mindset is the 80% and 20% by Dave Gadby.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so these are the two books. If the mindset has to be changed, and they are the wonderful books, both of them. Then
Great.
another book for the habits, I
Mhm.
will say the 7 habits of the successful people.
Okay, great.
Coco
So these
by
are
Coco.
the, yeah, uh,
Yeah.
these books impacted a lot, at least to your stuff, right?
Means
Okay.
if they read, the viewers read these books, let me tell you, it will have a profound effect on the way they think, the way they understand, the way they act, and the way their mindset will work thereafter.
Okay, great. Now, the last question, and this is related to the role of mentor in your life or anybody's life as per your own experience.
Upendra, uh, role of mentor start from the day you are born. I think so. First mentoring is done by your parents. The parents are the one who inculcate values in you. My parents inculcate in the values in me, that which I am still capitalizing on those values. For example, that is from my home environment, that I am still a teetotaler. I don't smoke, I don't drink. Okay, I am a pure vegetarian. Even during my entire journey in the army, I followed this, because my mother said once I went to the army, she said, "You have not listened to me," because she never wanted me to join because I was the only son. But still, I went to that because that was my calling. But she said, "You are going there, but John, don't change your habits." And I did that. I never changed my habit. Till date, I am as I went there. So first mentoring start from your parents. Okay. Thereafter in the life you come across many people whom you can see your inspiration and they become your mentor. So during service also I had very good, some of the very good people whom I learned from with their good deeds, and that is where you inspire and you learn and you grow. Now again, and that every step you find new mentors and you start learning. Mentor not necessarily that physically he has to be with you. Even if he's invisible, you know his deeds, you know, you just presume or assume that yes, you are reading about him, you are reading about his good jobs, and that you are learning from that mentor. So now what I would say, that you should find your ideal or your inspiration from the environment, whomsoever you think that who can help you to grow in life, is very important, is very important. So I would say that unless you have a mentor, it's difficult to achieve your goals. Yes, you may achieve your goals, but it may take a long time. But mentor will help you to get the same thing in a shorter time and easy way. So that is the role of the mentor. Mentor, what parents do when you are doing anything wrong, they tell you, "Son, don't do like this, do like this." That is the same thing of mentor. Mentor does the same thing, that whatever is the difficult path you wanted to traverse, they help you to traversing the same path in the shorter time and the easier way. So the importance of the mentor cannot be ruled out.
Wow, that is really great piece of advice. Yes, the power of mentor. You can achieve it, but you may take maybe 2, 3, maybe 10 year, maybe 15 year to achieve that thing. If mentor is there, you can achieve it in very shortest, fastest way. That is really great, and that's is the end of today's session. Thank you so much, Colonel Tyagvir, and yes, whatever the story that impact your career, definitely the small pieces of advice or whatever the struggle you have said, that is definitely going to impact the career of upcoming generation, or whoever is struggling to get into different or the up label. And yes, you have the framework. If somebody wants, definitely you are going to help them. They can reach you. Yes, social media links and everything is there, that means in this description, so they can just definitely take help or the guidance from you also. So thanks very much once again.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it all for today's, and definitely we are going to come up with a new episode in coming weeks. And till that, have a great week ahead, and we will just talk to you soon. Bye bye.